Imagine waking up in one country and having breakfast in another without ever leaving your house. Imagine walking into a library in the United States and finding the book you want on a shelf in Canada. Imagine living in a town that belongs to America but can only be reached by driving through Canada. It sounds like something from a science fiction novel. Yet all of these things are real. They exist along one of the most unusual borders on Earth, the border between the United States and Canada. Stretching for almost 9,000 kilometers, it is the longest international border in the world. At first glance, it seems ordinary. No giant walls, no heavily armed military zones, no endless lines of concrete barriers. For generations, people have described it as the world's friendliest border. But hidden beneath that peaceful reputation lies a collection of stories so strange that many people refuse to believe them. Stories of houses split in half by an invisible line. Stories of schools, libraries, and theaters that exist in two countries at the same time. Stories of entire communities trapped by decisions made hundreds of years ago. And stories that reveal how a simple line on a map can completely transform people's lives. To understand how all of this happened, we need to travel back in time. Long before satellites, GPS systems, and modern maps, much of North America remained largely unexplored by Europeans. Vast forests stretched across the continent. Gigantic rivers cut through the wilderness. Mountains stood as natural barriers between regions. Many of the areas that are now major cities were nothing more than forests, lakes, and open land. Yet despite knowing very little about these territories, politicians thousands of kilometers away were already drawing borders. They sat in comfortable offices. They spread maps across large wooden tables. And with little understanding of the landscapes before them, they began dividing enormous portions of North America. Many of these maps were incomplete. Some were inaccurate. Others contained major mistakes. But governments needed borders, so lines were drawn anyway. At the time, few people imagined these decisions would still affect millions of lives centuries later. One of the most important moments came in 1846. The United States and Great Britain signed the Oregon Treaty. The agreement helped settle territorial disputes across North America. To simplify matters, negotiators decided to use a straight line. That line would follow the 49th parallel across huge sections of the continent. It seemed like a simple solution. A ruler could draw it. A diplomat could understand it. A treaty could define it. But nature does not follow straight lines. Mountains do not follow straight lines. Rivers do not follow straight lines. Coastlines certainly do not follow straight lines. The consequences of that decision would create some of the strangest geographical situations in the world. One of those situations can be found in a small building located directly on the border itself. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary historic structure. Beautiful architecture. Elegant stone walls. Tourists arrive every year to admire it. But inside, something extraordinary awaits. A thick black line runs across the floor. This line is not decoration. It is an international border. On one side lies the United States. On the other side lies Canada. Welcome to the Haskell Free Library and Opera House. Perhaps the most unusual library on Earth. Visitors entering the building often stop in disbelief. They look down. Then they look around. Then they look down again. Because standing before them is a border crossing unlike any other. No gates, no fences, no passport booths. Just a line painted across the floor. A person can stand in America while reaching for a book in Canada. They can sit in one country while facing a stage located in another. The building is a symbol of friendship between two nations. When it was constructed in 1904, its founders wanted Canadians and Americans to share culture, education, and community. They deliberately built the structure on the border. To them, the border was not a barrier. It was a meeting place. For decades, the arrangement worked beautifully. Neighbors crossed freely. Visitors enjoyed performances. Readers borrowed books. The border existed, but it rarely felt important. Then, the world changed. Security concerns increased. Governments introduced stricter border controls. Technology became more advanced. Surveillance systems became more common. Today, the building remains open, but visitors must follow strict rules. Entering through one country's entrance and leaving through another can create serious legal problems. Cameras monitor activity. Border authorities keep watch. What once symbolized unrestricted friendship now exists under careful supervision. Yet the library is only the beginning. Far more bizarre situations exist elsewhere along the border. Just a short distance away lies a place where the border does something almost impossible. Instead of passing beside homes, it passes directly through them. Imagine purchasing a house. You move in. You unpack your furniture. You settle into your new life. Then you discover your bedroom is located in one country, while your kitchen is located in another. That is exactly what happened to several homeowners in communities such as Derby Line, Vermont, and Stansted, Quebec. Here, the international boundary cuts directly through buildings. The line crosses living rooms, it crosses hallways, it even crosses bedrooms. Some residents joke that they cross an international border more often before breakfast than most travelers do in an entire year. But beneath the humor lies a complicated reality, because living in two countries at once creates challenges that few people ever experience. And as we will soon discover, these challenges became even greater when modern border security transformed daily life forever.